There's a dissonance inside you, a quiet, persistent knowing that something isn't right. You feel it not in one moment, but as a hum beneath every moment. It whispers in the exhaustion that no amount of sleep can mend. It flickers in the awkward way compliments seem to slide off you, as if they've landed on someone else entirely. You catch it in the silence when you're finally alone. No distractions, no audience, no performance. And there it is, like a low, pulsing question just beneath your skin. Who am I when I'm not performing? The birth of the mask. From the very beginning, you were given a role to play. Before you even knew what a self was, you were handed a script. Don't cry. Be strong. Stop daydreaming. Focus. Don't be so sensitive. Toughen up. And you obeyed. Because love in those early days was conditional. Approval was currency. Belonging required sacrifice. So you molded yourself, word by word, gesture by gesture, until you became a carefully curated version of what the world seemed to want. You buried your instincts, silenced your inner knowing, and trained yourself to become acceptable. Layer by layer, you crafted a mask. And the most dangerous part, you wore it for so long, so convincingly, that even you began to believe it was real. The soul's rebellion. But the soul cannot be silenced forever. The true self doesn't die. It waits. It retreats underground, slipping into dreams, into fleeting memories, into sudden waves of sadness you can't explain. It speaks through the body, through chronic tension, through a nervous system that quietly protests the lies. Carl Jung called it the shadow, the disowned parts of you that refuse to vanish. And they are not benign. They are fierce. They scream for attention through your symptoms. The anxiety that tightens your chest when you betray your truth. The depression that shuts your system down when you live in misalignment. The insomnia that comes from trying to suppress what was meant to be expressed. They show up in strange places, in the anger you swallow instead of set a boundary, in the ache of envy that hints at a dream you abandoned, in the numbness that looks like peace but is really just a clever kind of disconnection. This is not just psychology, it's biology. Your body knows when you're lying to yourself, and it won't stop reminding you. The illusion of success. You were sold a lie, one that's been reinforced 1,000 ways. Be successful, and you will be whole. Achieve enough, and you'll feel enough. Perform well, and you'll be worthy of love. But what if the things you're chasing were never yours to begin with? What if the high-paying job, the social status, the relationship that checks all the boxes, what if none of it feeds you? What if, underneath it all, there's a hunger that success can't satisfy? This is a kind of moral Stockholm syndrome. You bond with the very system that suffocates you. Tell yourself the cage is comfort. Convince yourself the performance is power. But slowly, the cracks begin to show. The breaking point. There comes a moment, often subtle, often devastating, when it all begins to collapse. Maybe it's burnout that doesn't go away, no matter how many vacations or wellness hacks you try. Maybe it's the end of a relationship that exposes how deeply you've lost yourself. Maybe it's just the unbearable weight of pretending one more day. You hear yourself say, "I can't do this anymore," and you mean it. This moment is not failure, it's initiation. The unraveling is not your destruction, it is the beginning of your return. The way back to yourself. The path back is not easy. It is not paved with comfort. It is jagged and raw and terrifyingly quiet. Because for the first time, you are not asking what the world wants from you. You are asking who you are beneath the world's expectations. You stop asking for permission. because your truth is not up for debate. You begin to understand that the right people, the ones who matter, will not need you to explain your authenticity. They will recognize it. They will meet you there. You start decoding your pain. Anger becomes information, a boundary betrayed. Envy becomes guidance, a dream calling you home. Fatigue becomes wisdom, a body begging you to stop abandoning yourself. You begin to reclaim the shadow. The parts of you you were told were too much become the very keys to your freedom. Sensitivity reveals your depth. Stubbornness reveals your conviction. Intensity reveals your passion. You let the old identity die. This is not metaphor. It is mourning. You will lose people. You will disappoint those who only knew how to love the mask. You will shed layers that once kept you safe. And in the ashes, you will meet someone you forgot, yourself, the choice. You arrive at the crossroads, continue performing, and watch your soul erode in slow motion, or rip off the mask and step into the terrifying, beautiful, sacred truth of being real. This is not about self-improvement. This is self-reclamation. The world doesn't need another polished imitation. It needs you, raw, real, unfiltered, unapologetic. So, what part of you have you buried just to be accepted? The descent isn't the end, it's the door. Healing does not feel like light at first. It feels like grief, like rage, like all the emotions you've compressed into silence finally breaking free. You will want to run. Back to the mask, back to the comfort of pretending, back to what's familiar, even if it's killing you. But your nervous system is tired of the contradiction. You are both the storm and the shelter, and no amount of performance can protect you from the truth. What lies beneath the collapse? When the false self breaks, you don't become nothing. You become real. What emerges is not weakness, it's raw power. The kind of power that doesn't need to be understood. The kind that knows when to walk away, even if no one claps. The kind that reclaims time, space, breath, and voice. This is what your pain was preparing you for. What happens when you stop performing? You stop clapping for things you don't believe in. You stop apologizing for the way you feel. You stop mistaking numbness for peace. And in that void, something wild and sacred begins. You speak, with a voice that shakes, but speaks anyway. You create, not for applause, but for aliveness. You love without abandoning yourself. Becoming whole isn't comfortable. It's revolutionary. You will scare people. You will confuse those who loved your mask. You will grieve the version of you who made everyone else comfortable. But finally, you will sleep. Not from exhaustion, but from peace. You will laugh and mean it. You will cry and feel released. You will stand in a room alone and feel whole. Not perfect, not fixed, but true. The performance is over. The lights are off. The mask is in your hand. And what remains is the one who was never pretending to begin with. Coming home. Coming home to yourself isn't fireworks and choirs singing. It's not a triumphant reveal with applause echoing in the wings. It's quiet, unbearably quiet. Because in that silence, you're not just meeting your soul, you're meeting your ghosts. The child who was told they were too much, the teenager who learned to shrink, the adult who made peace with pain because peace with people felt safer. But silence, true silence, is not the absence of sound. It's the presence of truth. And in that sacred stillness, something stirs, not the old self, not the mask, the buried self, the sacred self, the self you were before the world told you who to be. Healing is not polished, it's sacred fire. Healing isn't just love and light, it is rage, sacred rage, the kind that knows something holy was stolen. Your voice, your boundaries, your essence. This isn't a rage that destroys. It's a rage that reclaims. It melts chains. It screams on behalf of generations. It speaks for the silenced. You are that fire, not broken, burning, not lost, becoming. There is no map, only a compass. When the mask falls off, there are no signs that say, "This way to wholeness." No paved path, just a compass. And that compass is your body, your breath, your gut, your trembling, terrified no, your unexpected, powerful yes. You learn to listen, not outward, but inward, to the whisper that says, "This isn't you," to the tension that arrives when you betray yourself, to the tear that escapes when someone finally sees the real you. These are not symptoms. They are your resurrection. The stories begin to crumble. The more you come home, the more the old myths fall away. The myth that being liked makes you safe. The myth that success requires soul sacrifice. The myth that love is earned through erasure. You begin to question, who gave me these definitions? Who told me this was peace? Who told me that being needed was the same as being loved? And then you let them go. You stop resuscitating identities you've outgrown. You stop clinging to relationships that require your silence. You stop shrinking to keep others comfortable. And slowly, like dawn breaking, you rise, not as an echo, not as a mirror, not as a shapeshifter desperate to be loved, but as you, unhidden, undeniable, uncompromising. This isn't the end, it's the becoming. It's not a mountaintop. It's not a perfect day. It's not one final moment of clarity that fixes everything. It's crying and laughing in the same breath. It's feeling anger and choosing compassion. It's sitting in silence and feeling whole. You no longer need everyone to get you, because you get you. You're not broken. You were never broken. Wholeness isn't becoming someone new. It's remembering who you were before you were told to be someone else. To those still wearing the mask, I see you. I know why you wear it. It protected you. It saved you. It helped you survive. But the cost of pretending is your life. Not your existence, but your life. Your joy, your voice, your peace. And eventually, the pain of pretending will outweigh the fear of being seen. That's when it begins. That's when the descent starts. That's when the healing happens. Not because you finally became lovable, but because you stopped trying to earn love and started being love. This is the invitation to strip the roles, to meet your shadows, to reclaim your voice, to stand in your fire. Yes, it will hurt. Yes, you will lose people. Yes, you will grieve, but you will gain yourself. And that is everything. So here's the door, still open, still waiting, not for who you should be, but for who you are. Come home. You were never meant to live behind a mask, not perfect, not invulnerable, but true. And in a world of illusions, truth is the most revolutionary thing you can be. Comment 1. Truth you're ready to reclaim. No disclaimers. No apologies.